Alright, good evening ladies and gents, welcome back to Compound Interesting. In today's video we're going to be discussing Tesla stock, why I'm still insanely bullish on Tesla stock. A few people were asking me about I haven't really been talking about stocks in a while, so a couple of people were asking me, so I thought good time to bring out the beautiful Tesla tequila bottle. Unfortunately there's no tequila in it because it was sold out of tequila, but yeah, the bottle's pretty cool anyway. So yeah, for me Tesla is my low risk bet. I know that might sound insane to a lot of people, but I have such enormous conviction in Tesla over the next 10 years. I have more conviction in Tesla than cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, whatever. So yeah, I take a lot of high risk investments, high upside investments, but usually that comes with high risk. But Tesla is like my safe stock, or my safe investment that I still think is going to do extremely well over the long term. So that's why I'm always buying Tesla shares, and what I'm planning on whenever I make good profits in crypto, or if I have ever extra money that I don't want to put in crypto because crypto is really high, I'll just be putting it into Tesla stock. So just when the market started to crash, I sold all my low conviction stocks and put them all into Tesla, and thank God I did that because Tesla has been holding up extremely well in the stock market crash. And the reason Tesla has been holding up so well, in my opinion, is because they have insane demand. So like, you have to wait weeks, months, or possibly even years to get a Tesla vehicle at the moment because there's so much demand. There's a huge backlog of customers who want a Tesla, and yeah, even if there's a massive recession, even if like half or 3/4 of those customers bail and don't want those vehicles anymore, or if there's no new customers wanting vehicles, like Tesla is like, their bottom line isn't going to be affected because they have so much demand. But even at these prices, I think Tesla stock is insanely undervalued on both the short, medium and long term. So we're going to go through the short term first, but it's really the long term that's the most interesting for me. I'm a long term investor. But on the short term, there was this leak Tesla document which shows that they're aiming to deliver 495,000 vehicles in Q4 of this year. Now, Tesla just released their delivery results for Q3 and they missed the Wall Street estimates because Tesla aren't really bothering to try and get out as many vehicles delivered per quarter to make Wall Street happy. They don't really care about that anymore. They're just doing what makes the most sense to them. So they don't need to cater to Wall Street. They're fine. They have loads of cash. They're grand. So instead of paying really high shipping fees to get all the vehicles delivered at the end of the quarter, they're just like, oh, we'll just deliver them next quarter. It's fine. Right, if you're watching this just after this video has been released, Tesla stock's on a nice little dip. And if this Reuters article turns out to be true, which I think there's a good probability that it is, this is an insane jump in delivery growth, quarter over quarter and year over year, an insane growth. So 495,000 vehicles delivered in Q4 would equal just roughly about $5 billion in profit for Tesla for that quarter. And obviously if you annualize that profit, that equals $20 billion per year in profit. And if you add a PE multiple of 100, so 100 by a profit of 20 billion equals 2 trillion. So $2 trillion market cap. If this turns out to be true, the 5 billion gross profit in Q4, would equal a $2 trillion market cap for Tesla within the next 6 months. And obviously Tesla is trading at about $800 billion market cap right now. So well over a 2x is possible in the short term if this Reuters article turns out to be true, which I think there's a good chance it is. And delivering just about 500,000 vehicles in Q4 would match up with their stated guidance of 1.4 million cars delivered in 2022 for the whole year. Even though most Wall Street estimates think they're going to come significantly below that because of, the Shanghai slowdown and obviously this miss in Q3. But just because they missed in Q3, that they're just like, oh, we'll just send them out next quarter when shipping rates have come down and we don't need to overstretch our team to get these deliveries out. So this negative catalyst is kind of a non-event and is potentially a good buying opportunity in the short term because we're looking at insane upside potential in the short term. Now let's move on to the fun side, the long term. Okay, so why am I so comfy holding Tesla stock over the next 10 years? Well, if we just look at the car sales over the next 10 years, even though we all know that Tesla is not just a car company and they have they have fingers in so many different pies that they'll make money from over the next 10 years. But even with just the car sales, like if they do anywhere between 17 million cars to 24 million cars in 2032, and they're aiming to hit 20 million cars by 2030. So that's their goal by 2030, but we're looking at 2032, which is 10 years from now. If they get anywhere between 17 million cars and 24 million cars, that's going to equal roughly about $180 billion in profit to $316 in profit, somewhere in that range. And if we apply a PE ratio of 50, so right now the PE ratio is 100, and by then obviously the PE ratio will come down, but still 50 is a high PE ratio, but Tesla will still be growing insanely fast even in 10 years, and we'll get to those reasons why. So at the low end, if we sell 17 million cars in 2032, that would equal, with a PE ratio of 50, that would be an 11x from here. So over a 10x for the low ball case in 10 years. And if we look at the high ball case, now this is just for cars, we sell 24 million cars by 2032, that's going to equal a 19x or almost a 20x over the next 10 years, which is insane. And that's just for the cars. So that's why I'm really comfy holding Tesla stock. Like, I'm not really worried, and everything else on top of them selling cars is just a bonus to the bottom line, which should like drastically increase the profits and thus the stock price in 10 years. So an easy 10x from simple number crunching in the kind of bear scenario, like an easy 10x, and that's just with the cars. So obviously, like, when you add everything else in, things get a bit crazy. Now obviously Tesla doesn't just sell cars, they also sell energy, so solar panels, batteries, etc., and the energy market is the biggest market in the world. 5 of the top 10 companies by market cap in the world are energy companies, and they're already selling Tesla energy products. So this isn't like a theoretical market that they could get into. Like, they're already doing this, and it's growing very fast. And they're also already selling Tesla insurance, which is another huge industry by market cap, which could be really kind of taken over. Car insurance could really be taken over by Tesla because they'll have the most data. Then when you start adding in the theoretical stuff, or the stuff that hasn't come to fruition yet, I think there's a very high likelihood that their robo-taxi network will replace a huge amount of transport, and that could be bigger than the car business. And the energy, Elon Musk has said before, the energy business could be bigger than the car business. We already said the car business could likely end up with a 10x. So energy could be bigger than the car business. Robo-taxi could be bigger than like creating and selling cars as well. So if you add in the robo-taxi and energy, like the low ball estimates of the profits that they could add to the bottom line, you'd be looking at maybe a 13x overall. But in the bull case, where these things are actually like making good profits, you're looking at like a 60x or something for Tesla stocks. I know that's insane, and yeah, maybe won't happen. They just unveiled their Tesla bot, so even if Tesla bot takes 10 years, like they might not be making good sales on Tesla bot, or might not be making them much profit over the long term. This could be a much bigger market than the car market, because pretty much Elon Musk said he wants to have the selling price for that about $20,000, which is like, if you could have a robot who does all your chores and does all your menial tasks, I think most first world households would buy one, and pretty much all physical labor would want one of these as well. So even if Tesla hasn't gone to mass production of the robots in 10 years, which I think they will by then, people are still going to be looking out to the future and demanding a higher multiple on Tesla stock, because they're like, okay, they're going to be taking over the world with these robots. They're going to be selling so many of these robots in 5 to 10 years time. So even if it takes 20 years, Tesla is going to be seeing, people are going to be pricing that into Tesla stock in 10 years time, even if it's 20 years out, if you know what I mean. They also have dozens of more levers that they can pull on for more profits, like licensing their full self-driving. Like, their full self-driving capabilities are miles ahead of any of the competition, and will be miles ahead forever, because they have a massive data lead, and it's a compounding data lead. And if they get to artificial general intelligence, they could also license that out. When they're making this robot now, they're going to potentially solve artificial general intelligence as well. They'll also have their own app store within the Tesla vehicles. So, you know, Apple makes 30% off each app that's in the app store that's downloaded from the app store. Apple makes 30%, which is crazy, but Tesla is basically a big iPhone on wheels. So Tesla will have their own app store, and I'm sure they won't be charging something as egregious as 30%, but possible profits potential there. And like, also allowing people to use their supercharger network who don't have Tesla vehicles, another lever that they can pull on there for profits, and any new products that will be coming down the line. So obviously there's huge upside potential, but this is just potential. So like the extra tens of trillions that could come about because of these robotaxi, robobots, whatever, it doesn't even matter about all that. I still like, that's why I'm invested in Tesla. None of that has to come to fruition, and Tesla stock will still do extremely well over the next 10 years. So it's just a safe investment for me that I don't have to worry about too much. So whenever I make nice profits in crypto, or crypto is really high, that's when I'll be putting my money into Tesla stock. That's how I'm going to play it over the next 10 years. And I'll be buying Tesla stock pretty much at any price over the next few years. So that's my quick update on Tesla stock. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe, and if you're new, hit the notification bell, because I'm a small channel. I won't be recommended to you otherwise. Thank you so much. Bye.